The Sphinx is one of the most studied monuments, yet Vasil wasn't convinced by any of the accepted archaeological explanations as to who created it.
No colossal statue this size, this scale existed.
Across the side of the Nile River from Cairo, on the Giza Plateau, beneath the towering pyramids, lies one of the world's greatest marvels. For almost 50 centuries, this site has been surrounded by mystery, debate, and uncertainty. Recently, a drone operated by a team of scientists.
The Sphinx that we know today, the Sphinx from the Great Pyramids of Giza, is the most famous of all sphinxes.
Captured an image revealing something hidden within the Egyptian Sphinx. This led Egypt to close off access to the Sphinx entirely. But what exactly did they discover that was so significant it required such drastic action? Join us as we unravel the secrets concealed beneath the ancient stone face that has made Egypt shut it down. Boriska Kiprianovich claims about Egyptian Sphinx. The Egyptian Sphinx is a huge limestone statue with the body of a lion and the head of a person. It appears differently in Greek and Egyptian stories. In Greek mythology, the Sphinx is seen as fierce and scary, while in Egyptian tales, it's a protective figure. The male Egyptian Sphinx is traditionally a guardian of sacred places, unlike its frightening Greek counterpart. Nowadays, it mostly attracts tourists, who often miss its deeper historical importance. It stands near the Great Pyramid of Giza and is thought to have been built around 2600 BC for the pharaoh Khafra. This impressive statue has long fascinated historians and archaeologists who have spent many years studying it to uncover its beginnings and purpose. Years ago, a young Russian boy named Boriska Kiprianovich made some amazing claims about old structures, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Sphinx. Boriska believed that these famous landmarks held deep and mysterious secrets. He suggested that behind the Sphinx's ear there was a hidden switch or device. Turning on this switch, according to Boriska, would show a secret room inside or under the statue. Boriska mentioned a sealed hole in the Great Sphinx of Giza's head. This famous limestone statue in the Giza Desert is more known for being a tourist attraction than a historical site. Boriska was sure that this hidden room contained something truly extraordinary, maybe old knowledge, advanced technology, or even alien objects. He believed that this discovery could change humanity forever. His claims sparked widespread interest and debate, with some people guessing that the Sphinx might be more than just a statue. They wondered if it could be a doorway to a hidden world or a storage place of lost knowledge. What made Boriska's claims even more interesting was that his fascination with these mysteries began at a very young age. The prodigy child. From a very young age, Boriska showed surprising talents that made him different from other children. When he was just 2 weeks old, he could already hold his head up. This was surprising because most babies can't do this until they are several months old. This early physical strength showed that Boriska was growing at a very fast rate. A few months after his birth, Boriska began to speak. This was another incredible milestone since most babies start saying their first words around their first birthday. Boriska, however, was already forming words, indicating that his language skills were very advanced for his age. By the time Boriska was 18 months old, he could read, draw, and paint. While most toddlers are just beginning to understand basic words and hold crayons, Boriska was reading books and making pictures with paint and crayons. When Boriska started kindergarten, his teachers were amazed by his abilities. He could write well, and his language skills were far beyond what was expected for his age. Additionally, he had a great memory, recalling many details about things he had learned or seen. His teachers quickly saw that Boriska was a very gifted child. One of the most interesting parts of Boriska's story is his claim that he was a pilot from Mars in a previous life. He spoke often and confidently about this, describing planetary structures and alien societies in great detail. He clearly described what the planets looked like and how they were organized, along with the cultures and ways of living of the beings that lived there. Boriska's stories also included a grim past for Mars, describing it as a battleground ruined by nuclear war, leaving only a few survivors. These survivors built shelters and developed new weapons. He said Martians breathe carbon dioxide, so if they visited Earth, they'd need special equipment to survive. What made his stories even more interesting was that Boriska had not learned about space from his parents or teachers. His parents were confused by his detailed knowledge of space, as they had not taught him about planets or alien life. It seemed that Boriska's understanding of these topics came from a source beyond what a young child could normally know. Boriska's surprising abilities and mysterious stories make him a truly fascinating figure, one whose life and talents invite us to listen and explore further. Mystery of the Great Sphinx. According to Boriska, the Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just a massive stone building constructed thousands of years ago between 2580 and 2560 BC during the 4th dynasty of Egypt's Old Kingdom. Although it served as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, Boriska argued that the pyramid also contains hidden rooms and passages that scientists and archaeologists have yet to discover. He claimed that these secret areas hold valuable knowledge and artifacts, offering insights into advanced ancient technologies and forgotten history. What captured people's imagination was Boriska's most fascinating assertion about the Sphinx. He suggested there is a hidden switch behind the Sphinx's ear. If this switch is activated, it will unlock a concealed chamber inside or beneath the Sphinx. Boriska was confident that opening this chamber would reveal something astonishing and unexpected. While he didn't know exactly what would be found, he believed it would be of great significance. The idea of secret chambers within or beneath the Sphinx isn't new. Many theories, and even some explorations, have sought to uncover such hidden spaces over the years. However, Boriska's vivid description of a secret switch and the potential wonders it could reveal reignited curiosity and excitement about these ancient mysteries. Giovanni Battista Caviglia was the first to conduct a modern excavation of the Sphinx, a giant statue with a lion's body and a king's head located on the Giza Plateau in Egypt. Caviglia's goal was to uncover more about this ancient marvel, but like many after him, he often ended up with more questions than answers. The Sphinx, carved from solid rock, has silently witnessed centuries of history, yet it reveals very little about itself. Interest in the Sphinx didn't start with Caviglia. In 1798, a French artist named Vivant Denon visited the site and created a painting that caused quite a stir. Denon's artwork showed a man buried up to his neck in the sand in front of the Sphinx. Some thought this was an exaggeration to show the harsh desert, while others believed Denon had misunderstood what he saw. Over the years, many explorers and scholars have come to the Sphinx, each trying to solve its mysteries. However, the Sphinx guards its secrets well. Every new theory or discovery often seems to reflect the ambitions of the researchers more than the reality of the Sphinx's history. The ongoing efforts to study the Sphinx have become almost routine. Each new researcher brings fresh ideas and tools, hoping for a breakthrough. Yet, the Sphinx remains largely unchanged, its true origins and purpose still a mystery. It stands quietly, gazing over the desert, perhaps amused by the endless human activity at its base. People are drawn to the Sphinx because of its imposing silence and the mysteries it holds. This strange quality keeps everyone coming back, from tourists taking photos to seasoned archaeologists with advanced equipment, all hoping to unlock a piece of history that may prefer to remain hidden. In the 18th century, Denon created a painting that showed two people helping one another climb out of the Sphinx's head, which was unusual because most images show the Sphinx from the side. This detail led some to think Denon was being creative to make his painting more interesting. Back then, there were no drones or aerial cameras to verify his work, so no one could confirm if Denon's scene was real or imagined. As technology improved, especially by the 1920s, people could take photos from the air. These photos revealed a hole in the top of the Sphinx's head, just big enough for a person to fit through. This suggested that Denon might have painted something he saw. Before aerial photos, many aspects of old paintings remained uncertain. With new tools, we can explore and verify what might have been true long ago. Another team of researchers led by a person named Ladd has been studying a curious aspect of the Great Sphinx, the presence of a hole in its head. Despite photographic and painted evidence confirming this hole, why it was later covered remains a mystery. It has been noticed that the Sphinx's head is made from different materials than its body. The head is created from a dark, synthetic-like substance, unlike the natural limestone used for the rest of the statue. Moreover, The head shows much less damage compared to the body, suggesting it might have been changed or repaired a long time ago, possibly before Western explorers knew about it. The exact reasons people were inside the head of the Sphinx remain a mystery. However, the Sphinx has been restored many times over the years. Interestingly, even though many studies were done on how the environment and materials affect ancient structures, these findings were surprisingly ignored during restoration efforts. This oversight is both confusing and worrying. There is also a theory that a secret passage in the Sphinx's head leads to an ancient underground network connected to more chambers beneath the Great Pyramids. In the 1930s, the media excitedly reported this network as a newly discovered underground city. Newspapers at the time speculate wildly about its significance. However, like many other historical discoveries, this supposed network is poorly documented, not well understood, and shrouded more in guesswork than solid evidence. In 1987, a team of Japanese researchers from Waseda University, led by Sakuji Yoshimura, conducted a survey using advanced electromagnetic technology. They found cavities and tunnels around the Sphinx in Egypt. Despite these findings, they did not make any major discoveries at that time. Boriska's claims added a new twist to existing theories by suggesting a specific hidden mechanism. His parents were surprised by his knowledge of Egyptian history and archaeology, as they had never taught him about these subjects. Despite this, Boriska could discuss the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx, describing their features and hidden aspects in great detail. This sparked speculation among some that Boriska might have a unique link to ancient knowledge, possibly even suggesting he could be a time traveler. However, these ideas remain speculative without solid evidence to support them. The Great Sphinx of Giza, believed to have been built by the pharaoh Khafra, is made from limestone and is quite large, measuring about 2,874 inches in length and 787 inches in height. Over the years, the Sphinx has intrigued many, with some believing it may contain hidden chambers and tunnels beneath its structure. These theories come from both ancient legends and modern scientific discoveries. Recently, scientists have used advanced tools like electromagnetic surveys to investigate these potential hidden spaces without the need for digging. In the 1970s, surveys revealed that there were cavities and tunnels beneath the Sphinx. These findings suggested the possibility of an underground network of tunnels. Further surveys indicated the presence of empty spaces and passageways beneath the Sphinx, sparking speculation about what else might lie hidden underground. Beyond these scientific investigations, there is also photographic evidence of mysteries associated with the Sphinx. In the early 20th century, some photos captured something unusual, a hole on the top of the Sphinx's head. This discovery led people to speculate that the hole could lead to secret chambers inside the Sphinx. Unfortunately, this hole is not visible today, as it has been covered or repaired over the years. In the 1920s and 1930s, more photographs were taken of the Sphinx, revealing finer details, including cracks and openings on its body. People speculated whether these cracks could be entrances to hidden tunnels or rooms. In 2006, a thorough photographic survey used advanced cameras to create a detailed map of the Sphinx. By capturing numerous photos from various angles, researchers assembled a 3D model of the Sphinx. This model enables researchers to study the Sphinx extensively without physical contact. With advancements in modern technology, such as digital cameras and imaging techniques, even clearer photos of the Sphinx have been obtained. These photos allow researchers to closely examine its surface. Despite the abundance of photos, mainstream researchers have not confirmed any hidden secrets and suggest further studies are necessary. Some researchers argue that photos alone are not enough proof and seek additional evidence to support any hidden truths. The availability of these photographs has sparked various theories about the Sphinx's mysteries. For example, some propose the Sphinx might be much older than conventionally believed, possibly dating back to around 10,000 BCE or even earlier. This speculation is based on the Sphinx's weathered appearance. In the 1990s, a researcher named John Anthony West and a geologist named Robert Schach studied the Sphinx. They examined the erosion patterns on its body, which seemed to resemble damage caused by heavy rain. However, Egypt has not experienced heavy rains for thousands of years. Schach proposed the water erosion hypothesis, suggesting that rainwater caused the weathering on the Sphinx. This implied that the Sphinx might be much older than believed, possibly dating back to 10,000 BCE, a time when Egypt's climate was wetter. If the Sphinx is indeed that old, it could indicate the presence of an advanced civilization capable of building such a massive and detailed statue. Some speculate this lost civilization could be Atlantis, the legendary city mentioned by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Several pieces of evidence support this theory, such as the precise craftsmanship and grand scale of the Sphinx, suggesting advanced technological capabilities. Robert Bauval and others believe the Sphinx and the pyramids are aligned with the stars, particularly with the constellation Orion, as it appeared around 10,500 BCE. This alignment strengthens the argument for an older Sphinx than traditionally thought. Despite these intriguing points, many mainstream archaeologists and Egyptologists do not support the lost civilization theory. They argue that erosion on the Sphinx could be explained by natural factors like wind and sand. However, recent research from scientists at New York University suggests a different story. Using advanced technology like drones and sophisticated instruments, the researchers published their findings in Physical Review Fluids. Their study proposes that natural erosion, rather than human construction, played a significant role in shaping the majestic Sphinx. This challenges the traditional belief that the Sphinx's multi-layered body was carefully carved by human hands. The research team experimented with wind erosion on unique rock formations known as yardangs. These formations, created by wind in flat desert areas, provided a basis for their idea. By copying the conditions of northeastern Egypt with mounds of soft clay mixed with harder material, the scientists simulated wind erosion using high-speed water streams. The results were striking. The eroded clay structures closely resembled the Great Sphinx, suggesting that nature might have shaped much of what we see today. Ancient texts and myths also hint at a time in Egypt's distant past when gods or advanced beings lived there. Proponents of the lost civilization theory suggest these stories might refer to the builders of the Sphinx. They speculate that the Sphinx could have served various roles, such as a temple, a monument, or a guardian figure, symbolizing wisdom and power. Its alignment with the stars implies it might have had astronomical significance. While the history of most Egyptian artifacts intertwines, the mystery of the Great Sphinx of Giza remains a subject of debate and exploration. Sphinx relationship with ancient Egyptian figures. The Sphinx is closely linked to the Egyptian sun god Ra-Horakhti. Ra-Horakhti is a mix of Ra, the sun god, and Horus, the sky god. This combined god was seen as a strong protector and guardian. The Sphinx, with its lion body and human head, shows strength and wisdom. The lion stands for power, while the human head stands for intelligence, which matches well with Ra-Horakhti's traits. Ancient Egyptians might have worshipped the Sphinx as a symbol of Ra-Horakhti. They would make offerings and pray at the Sphinx to seek protection and blessings from the god. Horus, another important god linked to the Sphinx, is shown as a falcon or a man with a falcon's head. He is the god of the sky, war, and protection. Some ideas suggest the Sphinx represents Horus in his role as a protector. The Sphinx faces east towards the rising sun, aligning with Horus's link to the sky and the sun. Egyptian pharaohs were often seen as the living form of Horus on earth, which could explain why the Sphinx, with a pharaoh's face, is linked to Horus. One famous story involves Thutmose IV, a pharaoh of the 18th dynasty who ruled from 1401 to 1391 BCE. According to the story of the dream stele, a large stone tablet placed between the Sphinx's paws, Thutmose IV fell asleep near the Sphinx while hunting. In his dream, the Sphinx spoke to him, promising that he would become pharaoh if he cleared away the sand covering the Sphinx. Thutmose IV cleared the sand and restored the Sphinx, fulfilling the promise. This act helped to keep the Sphinx for future generations. Thutmose IV wasn't the only family member linked to the Sphinx. His father, Amenhotep II, also a pharaoh of the 18th dynasty who ruled from 1427 to 1401 BCE, was connected with the Sphinx. Writings found near the Sphinx mention Amenhotep II, giving the impression that the Sphinx was already an important monument during his rule. Other pharaohs, like Ramses II, also worked to restore and preserve the Sphinx. Ramses II, known as Ramses the Great, was one of Egypt's most famous pharaohs, ruling from 1279 to 1213 BCE. During the 19th dynasty, it is clear that the Sphinx was very important to the Egyptians. It wasn't just a statue, it played a huge role in their society. The Sphinx showed the pharaoh's power and divine right to rule, as a mark of deep connection between the pharaohs and the gods. Positioned as the guardian of the Giza necropolis, a sacred area filled with pyramids and tombs, it protected the site from evil spirits and intruders. The Sphinx was more than a protective figure. It was a place of worship and reverence, symbolizing the link between the human world and the divine. Ancient texts and myths often mention the Sphinx, providing clues about its significance and the beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. One fascinating belief is that the Sphinx holds the secrets of the universe. Some say that by staring into its eyes long enough, one could gain ancient knowledge and uncover hidden truths. There are tales of people seeing the Sphinx's eyes glow with a strange light, drawing them closer. This mysterious light is said to appear only at special times, like during a full moon or certain times of the year. Those who have witnessed the glowing eyes describe the experience as both beautiful and ghostly, almost as if the Sphinx were alive and aware of them. This legend of the glowing eyes is one of the most captivating aspects of the Sphinx's mystery. People who claim to have seen this light often feel a deep spiritual connection, as if the statue is communicating with them. Some reports suggest that looking into the Sphinx's eyes can put people in a trance, giving them visions or insights that are personal and significant, offering guidance and wisdom. Another interesting belief is that the Sphinx is aligned with the stars and planets. Its position and orientation are thought to match specific stars and planets in the sky. The ancient Egyptians were skilled astronomers who studied the heavens and believed that celestial bodies had a strong influence on life on Earth. The alignment of the Sphinx with the stars and planets remains a subject of great interest and wonder, further providing its deep connection to both the earthly and the divine. Researchers also found something fascinating about the Sphinx. It faces the rising sun on the day of the spring equinox. This special day, when day and night are the same length, marks the beginning of spring. Some people believe that this alignment gives the Sphinx unique powers, even the ability to control reality with its gaze. One interesting part of the legend is that the Sphinx's face can supposedly change expressions. Some visitors claim that when they get close to the Sphinx, its face mirrors their emotions. If someone is happy, the Sphinx might appear to smile. If someone is sad, the Sphinx might look sad too. It sounds unbelievable that a stone statue could do this, but many people swear they've felt a strong connection with the Sphinx, almost as if it were aware of their presence and reacting to them. But there's more to this ancient wonder. Some believe that the Sphinx holds the key to eternal life. According to this belief, anyone who can solve its riddles and unlock its secrets will be granted immortality. This idea ties into the Sphinx's significant role in ancient Egyptian culture. The Egyptians believed in an afterlife and spent much of their lives preparing for it. When an ancient Egyptian died, they believed their soul would journey to the afterlife, which was full of challenges and tests. To help with this journey, they built elaborate tombs filled with everything the deceased might need, including food, clothes, jewelry, and furniture. These tombs also contained texts with spells and prayers to guide and protect the soul. The afterlife was a multi-stage journey. First, the soul had to navigate the underworld, a place filled with dangers and obstacles. The Egyptians believed these preparations and the guidance of the Sphinx could help ensure a safe passage to eternal life. The ancient Egyptians created a fascinating guide known as the Book of the Dead. This book was a collection of magical spells and detailed instructions meant to help the deceased navigate the afterlife. It was often placed in the tombs alongside the dead. One of the most critical stages in the journey to the afterlife was the weighing of the heart. The Egyptians believed that the heart was the essence of a person, holding all their thoughts and actions. In the Hall of Maat, the goddess of truth, justice, balance, and most importantly, order, the deceased's heart would be weighed against the feather of Maat, which symbolized truth and righteousness. If the heart was lighter than the feather, it meant the person had lived a good and honest life, allowing them to enter the afterlife. However, if the heart was heavier, it indicated that the person had committed wrongdoings. In such cases, their heart would be eaten by a terrifying monster named Ammit, leading to the soul's destruction. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the middle of Egypt's old sands, the Sphinx, protector of mysteries and history, kept a secret long hidden. Archaeologists, during regular digs, discovered a hidden room under the huge statue. Inside were objects unlike any seen before, detailed artifacts shining with a strange, otherworldly light. News of the find spread quickly worldwide, attracting scholars, media, and curious visitors to Egypt. But just as excitement peaked, Egypt suddenly closed off access to the Sphinx, blocking the site with armed guards and strong barriers. Rumors whispered about the artifact's powers, talk of ancient curses, alien origins, and world-changing technologies. Speculation grew, sparking debates among scientists and conspiracy theorists alike. The Egyptian government, secretive and firm, cited security concerns for the closure, declining further questions or comments. Meanwhile, global tensions rose as nations competed for knowledge about the Sphinx's secrets, each having scientific and strategic ambitions. As months went by, the world waited for Egypt's decision. Would the secrets of the Sphinx remain buried, or would they reshape humanity's understanding of history and reality itself? Let us know your answer in the comments section. Nefertiti lost legacy through the ages. Queen Nefertiti was a key figure in ancient Egypt during the 14th century BCE. She had significant influence as the wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten, bringing about major changes, new religious beliefs, societal changes, and innovative art. Despite detailed records of her rule, the circumstances of her disappearance are unknown, leaving historians puzzled. It's as if certain parts of her life were left out, raising questions about hidden truth or lost histories. Nefertiti's mysterious absence from historical records parallels the hidden tunnels under the Sphinx, sparking ongoing discussions among historians. These mysteries highlight the complex nature of history, where gaps in knowledge can reveal as much as known facts. Perhaps the secret passages under the Sphinx contain clues to Nefertiti's life, offering possible insights or deepening the mystery surrounding her legacy. Our current understanding relies on speculation and the hope of future discoveries. These concealed chambers may reveal truths about historical figures like Nefertiti, possibly answering long-standing questions or complicating narratives further. Until more discoveries are made, we piece together fragments of the past, shedding light on glimpses of ancient lives. During her husband's rule, Pharaoh Akhenaten began a radical religious change, promoting the worship of the sun disk, Aten, as Egypt's main god. Known as the Amarna period, this time saw not only religious changes, but also the building of a new capital, Amarna, devoted solely to Aten. Nefertiti played a crucial role alongside Akhenaten in this religious change, actively supporting Aten's worship and restructuring Egypt's spiritual landscape. By reducing the importance of other gods and their temples, she concentrated power under Aten's worship, reshaping Egyptian society deeply. This change was not just religious, it was a political move that centralized authority, securing their rule over Egypt. Their joint efforts faced opposition, challenging established traditions and affecting those tied to the old religious system. The founding of Amarna symbolized their commitment to changing Egypt, not only spiritually, but also politically, securing their place in history as transformative leaders. The partnership between Akhenaten and Nefertiti was a powerful force that redefined Egypt's cultural and political foundation. Their goal was not just to introduce a new god, but to reshape Egyptian governance and identity, making a lasting impact on history. Neferwaten Nefertiti was a powerful queen in ancient Egypt, known for her important role in politics and religion alongside her husband, Akhenaten. Her unique appearance, with a long neck and special crown, is preserved in art from that time, giving her a respected position in society. Despite her high status, much of Nefertiti's life, especially its end, remains mysterious, which interests historians. It's widely believed she died during her husband's rule and might have been buried in the Valley of the Kings, but there's no solid proof. Some historians even think she lived longer than Akhenaten, which adds to her story. Scholars are still trying to learn more about her burial and life by studying fragments from ancient artifacts and carvings. There's also talk that Nefertiti might have ruled as pharaoh under the name Neferuaten, which makes her historical identity more complex. Some suggest she could be buried in a secret room within Tutankhamun's tomb, but evidence for this idea is scarce. Despite these uncertainties, the search for her tomb continues to capture the interest of scholars and the public alike. Nefertiti's legacy as a strong female leader in a time when men mostly ruled lives on, despite what we don't know. Her story not only fuels scholarly discussion, but also keeps people interested, symbolizing strength and leadership in ancient Egypt. What are your thoughts on the secret discoveries in the Sphinx of Egypt? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.